On the 13th of July 2011, a blog post from the Adbusters Foundation in Canada proposed a peaceful occupation of Wall Street to protest corporate influence on democracy, the lack of punishment for the bankers behind the recent global financial crisis, and an imbalance in wealth. The occupation started on September 17th. With a growing online audience, the Occupy campaign was soon to spread.
Occupy Wall Street protests have grown exponentially and have spread to cities around the globe.
The Wall Street protests that are entering their third week in New York are now spreading to other cities.
It's Occupy Oakland, Occupy San Francisco.
Occupy Wall Street movement in New York.
October 10th, 2011, a campaign is launched on Facebook for protests to take place at the London Stock Exchange on the 15th of October in solidarity with the Occupy Wall Street protests in New York. Attempts to occupy Paternoster Square in London, the home of the London Stock Exchange, were thwarted by police. Around 3,000 people gathered nearby the square outside St.Pauls Cathedral. The following Sunday, Canon of St.Pauls, Reverend Giles Fraser, asked police to leave the steps of St. Paul's, saying that he was happy for people to exercise their right to protest peacefully outside the cathedral. By the 17th of October, around 150 tents with makeshift tarpaulin shelters clustered around the west side of St. Paul's. Almost 2 months on, and the occupation continues. The protests have been criticised by the press on a number of occasions for varying reasons, most notable for not having a clear motive.
Everyone in this whole camp have different opinions on different things, but we're all united about one thing. We're sick of endemic corruption in our society. People here are angry that the austerity in our society, hospitals are being cut back, schools are being cut back, taxes are being raised all the time, constantly. The taxes for breathing now. This is all based upon our debt, on our national debt. It's the same in Europe. And people are fed up with it. We are fed up with having to subsidise basically private institutions called banks.
However, the stories that interested us about the camp were those that ridiculed it. The impression that the stories were giving us were that the camp was a vile place for drug users and alcoholics. The most notable contributor to these accusations was the Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, who referred to the protesters as drug-taking layabouts.
The media are a joke. They really are. They prove themselves to be the mouthpieces of the powerful. They really have. And that includes the BBC. The BBC are a joke. I don't know why people even pay their licence fees. It's just, they are absolutely getting on the bandwagon.
One of the main concerns that Occupy faced were stories that came out about a lack of organisation within the camp itself.
It's very well organised. This is all based upon strictly OH&S principles. The fire brigade have come in and checked everything. Everything's correct. It's well organised.
We have come to the conclusion that the comments made about the protesters being layabouts, in our eyes, are false.
I live up north in Coventry. I'm a teacher.
And what do you teach?
History, geography, yeah. But also I was involved in Gaza. I used to work for the UN, HCR, the Refugee Commission, as the teacher.
After our interview with Sean, he mentioned to us that he had witnessed what he called disruptors. He explained these as people entering the camp. Some would be drunk and cause trouble. But the interesting story he told me about was a disruptor that he witnessed place a bag of what seemed to be used needles. He believed that these disruptors are members of the press who are looking to give the camp a bad name.